It always starts the same way. She looks at you, not as you are, but as who she imagines you might become. You feel it in her gaze, that flicker of admiration. Or is it hunger? You think you're being seen, but you're not. You're being measured, scanned, assessed. You're not a man to her, not yet. You're a blank canvas, and she's already holding the brush. What you mistake for love is often projection. What you think is attraction might just be fantasy. And that fantasy, it's not even about you. It never was. Carl Jung warned us, not with sugar-coated words, but with sharp precision. He spent his life staring into the human soul and uncovered a brutal truth. Many women don't fall in love with men. They fall in love with the idea of men, the potential, the role, the character they've written in their mind. And if you fit the script, you're adored. But the moment you step out of character, you're replaced. This isn't romance, it's theater. And the tragedy is, most men don't even realize they're acting. Carl Jung devoted his life to mapping the unconscious, the vast, unseen part of the human mind that operates beneath awareness. And in that shadowy territory, he discovered something most men are never taught, that many women don't love men directly. They love through a filter, a projection, an invisible image Jung called the Animus. The Animus is the inner masculine figure that lives inside every woman's psyche. And when she hasn't integrated it, when it remains immature, wounded, or unconscious, she doesn't connect with men as they are. She connects with the idea of a man her mind has constructed. So when she looks at you, she's not meeting you. She's meeting him, the fantasy version, the hero, the savior, the rebel, the genius. And she casts you in that role whether you realize it or not. For a while, it feels incredible. You're admired, desired, even worshipped. But here's the trap. She's not loving you. She's loving the character. And the moment you stop fitting the role, the moment you act human, she doesn't rewrite the script. She recasts the actor. Jung called this a kind of spiritual possession. Because when the animus is unchecked, a woman can become so gripped by her projections that she loses awareness. She's no longer responding to reality. She's responding to the film playing in her mind. And most men fall for it. They confuse being chosen with being understood. They believe they're seen when they're only being used to act out a private dream. And when the dream ends, they're left wondering what they did wrong. But it wasn't what you did. It's who you stopped being in her fantasy. Most men never see it happen. They just slowly start becoming agreeable, predictable, safe. They confuse being loved with being approved of. They start trimming away anything that might shake the image, the quirks, the mess, the edge, all so they can stay chosen. And little by little, they stop being a man and start becoming a performance. It begins early. You learn that if you impress, you get praise. If you provide, you get affection. If you stay in line, you stay wanted. So you adapt, you edit, you mold, and you start thinking your worth comes from being needed, not from being real. You become what you think she wants, and in doing so, you betray the parts of yourself she was never meant to control. Jung saw this clearly. He called it self-betrayal. The moment a man abandons his own development to maintain the illusion that he is the good one, the safe one, the man who never disappoints. But no woman is drawn to a man who exists just to please her. She might appreciate him, she might use him, but she won't feel magnetized by him. Because there's no mystery, no edge, no self. And here's where the trap tightens. The very traits you think will keep her, obedience, predictability, total availability are the exact things that slowly kill her desire. Why? Because the feminine isn't drawn to control. It's drawn to presence, to tension, to the man she can't fully mold. So you perform, you please, you disappear. And when she loses interest, you tell yourself it's because you weren't good enough. But the truth is, you were never meant to be good. You were meant to be real. And being real, that means being willing to disappoint, to draw boundaries, to walk away. But most men don't. They cling, they chase, they try harder, not realizing that they're just rehearsing a role in a story they didn't write. You fear being alone more than you fear being fake. And that's how the mask stays on. There comes a moment. It's subtle, quiet. The look in her eyes changes. The warmth fades. You say something honest, draw a line, reveal a flaw, and suddenly you feel it. The distance, the disappointment, the fantasy starts to crack, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? But the answer isn't about what you did. It's who you stopped pretending to be. The mask slipped, the illusion collapsed, and the role she cast you in no longer fits. So now you're the villain in her story, the one who failed her, let her down, changed. But the truth is, you never changed. You just stopped performing. Carl Jung called this collapse inevitable. Because no one can live inside someone else's projection forever. The tension between your real self and her imagined version of you grows until something breaks. And when it does, she may not even understand why she's pulling away, only that you're no longer him. And here's the pain most men can't name. You didn't betray her. You simply disappointed the story she was never conscious she was telling. And if you haven't done the inner work, that betrayal breaks you. You'll beg, you'll chase, you'll spiral. Because you made her approval your identity. Her love was your mirror. And now that it's gone, you don't know who you are without it. But Jung warned us. A man who has not confronted his own shadow, his insecurities, his fears, his emptiness, will always be ruled by someone else's fantasy. And he'll confuse that servitude for love. Individuation, the process of becoming whole, demands you walk away from that illusion. But most men won't. Because stepping off the stage means facing something far more terrifying than rejection. It means facing yourself. The moment she drops the illusion, you feel it like a punch. She pulls away. Her tone changes. Her eyes harden. You tell yourself she's cold, ungrateful, irrational. But deep down, a harder truth gnaws at you. She was never really seeing you at all. She was seeing the version of you her unconscious mind invented. And now that version has collapsed, you've become the villain by default. You feel betrayed, but you shouldn't. You should thank her. Because when the illusion dies, you're finally forced to meet the one person you've been avoiding your whole life, yourself. And most men run from that moment. They lash out, they get bitter. They join the angry crowd pointing fingers at women. But Carl Jung would stop you right there and ask, why did you volunteer for that role in the first place? You see, this isn't about her projection. It's about your participation. You didn't become a victim. You became a character. And you agreed to play the part because facing your own emptiness, your own unintegrated feminine, your unlived life, was more terrifying than faking your way through someone else's fantasy. Jung didn't offer comfort, he offered confrontation. Individuation, he said, is death before death. The ego dies. The mask burns. Everything false is stripped away. And what's left is silence, the raw, terrifying stillness of becoming real. It's lonely. Most people won't understand you anymore. They'll say you've changed, you've grown distant, you're too cold, too intense, too hard to reach. But the truth is, you've stopped being manipulable. You've stopped performing. And that makes people deeply uncomfortable. You become the mirror. And people hate mirrors when they show them what they'd rather not see. When you finally stop performing, something unexpected happens. You stop chasing women who want a role, and you start attracting women who want the truth. Not the fantasy of a man, not the hero, the fixer, the prize, but a man, rooted, whole, unshakable in who he is. And when she arrives, you'll know the difference. She won't try to shape you. She won't test you. She won't seduce you with the language of need. Because she's done the work too. She's faced her own shadow, confronted her own animus, burned her own illusions. She's not looking for a savior. She's not looking to be completed. She's not projecting. She's present. And for the first time, you won't feel the need to impress. You'll just feel seen, not through a lens of fantasy, but through a gaze that recognizes you as you are, not as a part to play, but as a man who has finally chosen himself. There are no masks between you, no performance, no games, just a quiet meeting between two people who have nothing to prove, nothing to control, and everything to offer. That is the love Jung pointed to. Not possession, not seduction, not projection, but freedom. Most men never reach this place. They stop at the pain. They turn back when the applause fades, when the woman walks, when the silence becomes too loud. They trade truth for attention. They settle for the fantasy. Because the idea of being real still feels more dangerous than being accepted. But the man who keeps going, the one who walks through the fire of his own illusions, finds something most people never touch. He finds himself. And in that place, women are no longer the mirror he uses to feel like a man. They become something else entirely. Partners, not prizes. Allies, not saviors. And he loves them. Not because he needs them, but because he chooses to. Carl Jung didn't give men easy answers. He gave them a challenge, a warning, a path. The man who refuses to confront himself will forever be ruled by the projections of others. But the man who chooses himself, fully, relentlessly, unapologetically, becomes something far rarer. He becomes untouchable. So if this message stirred something in you, if it cracked the illusion you've been living in, don't just scroll away. Like the video, share it with another man who needs it, and subscribe for more. Your support isn't just for this channel. It's for the next man still lost in the fantasy, waiting for someone to wake him up.